Hello, everybody. We're getting started soon. Sorry about the late start. All right, there's that. There's this. Oh my god, I look like a sleepy boy. I'm a sleepy boy. What was I? Did I play anything? I mean, I played that, but I can't talk about that yet. We could talk about. Oh yeah, what the hell? Why not? Okay, let's see here. I think we're about good. I just gotta check the audio. Is this the right? You guys heard that?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So right there, that was gonna be muted, so I'm glad I checked that. That's good. All right. I'll tweet and I think we can get started. Is there anything else I'm forgetting to do?
Don't think so.
Probably, but I don't remember.
Yeah, what do you take us for?
Do you think? Okay. I got offended when Mike asked if we remember if we did that before.
It just seemed familiar to me. I feel like we had this conversation.
No, I got offended that you think we would remember anything.
No, well, that's fair. I know. I should have known. Well, I like
very unreasonable.
I panicked. Was like, I just don't know. It's like, man, somebody would have said something that.
Did you see Tetris and think about the console launch one?
No, I just remember us talking about best puzzle games. We had like an argument about what even is a puzzle game, which I'm sure we're gonna do again.
Oh, you did that.
Probably. Oh well.
Enjoy the content. Hey, we always get new listeners and new viewers, so
yeah, I guess so.
The public renew itself.
Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready, Mike?
Yes.
Move that
Ready.
there. All right.
Deep thought for a second.
Oh,
I
interesting.
do feel better, Amp.
Where do you go when you go in your deep thoughts? Where do you just kind of sometimes when you just sit there for like 3 seconds after I say, "Hey, Mike," where do you go?
Roman Empire.
It's just like whatever the last thing we're talking about was. I'm still stuck on that. Usually.
Okay. All right. That's fair. All right. I'm gonna count us in. I'm gonna get us going. In 5, 4, 3. It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the Game Mess Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything about the world of video games so you never have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb. With me is
Mike Minotti.
In today's episode, the Switch 2's likely an iteration, maybe 14,000 games released on Steam last year, and the Mount Rushmore of puzzle games. We'll get to all of that here very soon. But first, Mike, how are you doing?
I'm good. I thought I was gonna get sick yesterday. And I've been.
Yeah, you took you were like, I'm gonna go lay down because I'm feeling kind of run down. And
and I even had like a slight fever for a hot second, and
bounce back.
Just took a nap and bounced back. I guess I was pretty much completely fine. I've had that a few times. I think that might just be a side effect of the Humira, my Crohn's medicine, because it is like an immune suppressant. So every once in a while, maybe a few days after I take a new dose, it just causes a slight fever for a hot second. So that's fine, but still, we aren't doing the in-person game of the year this week. Jeff's kid was pretty sick just a couple days ago, and I had that scare, so we'll try that again next Thursday.
Yeah, she did bounce back just today, but last night we didn't know that. She was still very sick yesterday, so...
And she could be infectious today. Who knows? So
no idea, and the point is we couldn't plan around it, so we'll figure that out. We'll do that next week for sure. But I'm looking forward to that. I got some fun categories. The podcast producers have been dropping some categories, so it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, you have a good week back to work and all that stuff?
No, I don't want. I liked it better when I wasn't working.
Oh, it's weird.
Yeah,
it's fascinating.
I liked that. That was great.
It's not what you hear from most people.
That was also a lot of socializing, but that was nice. But there's sometimes like, okay, I need a couple of days here where I'm actually just going to stay home and play video games. Like I predicted, like all these grand plans of all the games I was going to play during break didn't happen.
Of course.
Right. And it was mostly just like, I was playing through Dead Space for the Game Club, and that was fun. I was playing God of War Valhalla and then a lot of Star Ocean Second Story. But that was it. Really, nothing like crazy. I did not like catch up and finish Jedi Survivor and Final Fantasy 16. Of course not.
Yep, Jedi Survivor and Alan Wake 2, and there was another one. Oh, Avatar. It's like, yeah, I'm going to beat all those. And no way.
No, I'm not gonna. Turns out I'm gonna beat nothing.
Yes, although I might still maybe I'll beat Alan Wake 2 on stream just so I can have that like actually finished, so I can say I beat that one. Even though it's like, if I was on my own time and it was up to me, I probably wouldn't continue playing it. But it's like, I don't know, it's fun hanging out with people and playing it for some reason. All right, you know what? I am feeling pretty run down because it is the first week back, and what happened? The kid got sick, and so what happened? Like, she wakes me up. And it's like, hey, I'm going to be throwing up all night. Is that cool? I'm like, not really, but I'll take care of you. And so she kept me up all night the other night, and I haven't really recovered since then. So let's get on with it. You can get more from Mike and me by joining the Discord at GameMess.net. Give us a good rating wherever you are listening, and hit the like button on YouTube, please. If you want to ask a question, you could drop a super chat during the show on YouTube. Thank you to Carlos Ayin, who is Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube, for the use of our theme songs. Also, thanks to 1UP versus CPU for our artwork. You can also find more of him at oneupversuscpu.com. We are on. Please.
I had an idea. Do we want to, if there's something special, we do get a new artwork. Do we want to get a new artwork based off of our Game of the Year pick next week?
Well, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, let's do that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, we'll reach out to 1UP versus CPU for that. 1UP versus CPU also has a like a Game of the Year of their own on their website that they did some artwork for. I believe it looked pretty cool. We are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and wherever pods are caught. Thank you to the mods, and support us by going to patreon.com/GameMess. That gets you access to the private channels in our Discord, the monthly Q&A, participation in our monthly Game Club discussions, 1 month early access to new episodes of Game Mess, Jeopardy, and Columbros, and of course, all of our shows ad-free. We will be doing a Q&A here pretty soon, trying to figure out the timing on that. Probably not this weekend. I'm going to go to a Lions game in Detroit. But the next weekend after that. Yes. Yeah. My brother's got tickets. And so they're going to be playing the Vikings at home. And I've never been to Ford Field. I went to the Silverdome. Oh my gosh. Silverdome like 10 times.
Field
you did?
WrestleMania 23.
Oh,
but
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's
that'll
cool.
be fun.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Cannot wait. All right. Once again, that's patreon.com/GameMess. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting us. It's really nice. We really appreciate it. It's like the biggest driver of these shows is that support. As well as the people who, of course, drop super chats during the show.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Mike, I got some big topics. Let's get into them. Switch 2 is likely going to be an iteration. That's according to Sirkin Toto, who's a friend of mine. I've hung out with him a couple times. Both times I hung out with him, I think, was in Singapore. When I went to Singapore for, I can't remember what the name of those old gaming conventions were. Kind of industry conventions, really. But we had dinners a couple times. I think Circuit Toto's a real nice guy. He's insightful. He does have some insight beyond just making informed guesses. He sometimes knows what he's talking about. And in his analysis here, he mentions the Switch Pro is real. And that's like an open secret at this point, although many people will be like, well, that was just a made up thing because it never manifested. It's like, no, it was real. Dev kits were out there. They got recalled by Nintendo because Nintendo changed their minds. And then now he's predicting, though, not saying, no, this is definitely what's going to happen. He's predicting the Switch 2 is going to be an iterative console. It's probably going to be about $400, probably launching later this year. And I think if you asked me and you to make the prediction about what this console is going to look like, we'd probably say the same thing, right?
No, that's exactly right. I think that's what everybody's expecting. On most of those accounts, I'm sure people would want it to be cheaper, but I think people do want an iteration. I think people are actually terrified of it being like a Wii U, where they do something wacky that kind of just not ruins it, but sort of weighs the system down. I think people want it this year. $400, it's going to be more expensive than what the Switch was, but also seems like, that's the price increase that we will get, considering just the way the market is different this time and what they think they can get away with. Maybe it'll be a 3DS situation where they think they can get away with it, then they'll find out quickly they won't. But I think they are going to get away with it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I think the console, the Switch launched at $300, and then they never lowered the price. Eventually, they released an OLED for $350. That signifies that they think they can get away with more in terms of pricing for sure. I put a pull up on Giant Bomb for Game Mess Mornings about this, and about 17% of people say they want something completely different than the Switch. Then you go look at the comments, and most of those people say, I want a dedicated home console because I don't play games handheld, and I want something more powerful. And it's like, that's just not going to happen. And also, like, if Nintendo was going to do something different, it would be very different, right? And it doesn't seem like they're in that, that TikTok cadence of, hey, sometimes they do something very different, and sometimes they do something very similar. It feels like we're in the very similar cadence right now, right?
No, it's just exactly. I just can't possibly imagine, unless like Nintendo is so high up on it being their philosophy that they have to be real daring and experimental. There is absolutely no business reason to switch things up drastically right now.
Yep, totally agreed. Well, again, every time we talk about this, we'll probably hear more about this later this year. For now, it's going to be a lot of speculation until those leaks start happening, which will probably happen over the next few months. This is a very popular subject. It's a anticipated device. There will be leaks, so we can look forward to that. Especially based on that VGC report that says many developers do have dev kits for the next Switch already, and those are probably close partners with Nintendo in Japan. I think a lot of that reporting came out of VGC visiting Japan and talking to developers there, but worldwide, developers are going to begin getting dev kits here very soon, so we could probably look forward to that, those leaks, like I said. All right, up next, there were 14,000 games released on Steam last year, and I don't care.
I don't either.
Yeah, it's like people freak out about this.
Do people care?
Yeah. So
other people do.
Yes, there was a story, like I saw a story on Kotaku that's like, it's bad for gaming, bad for developers, bad for gamers. And I just, I think it's a challenge for developers and maybe even a challenge for gamers to a certain extent. But every time I log on Steam, even though I see a bunch of games that there's no chance I would ever buy, I don't really ever feel that overwhelmed by Steam. I feel like it has a pretty good grasp on what to show me, when to show me it. And if I want to begin digging deep, it makes it very easy to do that. Now, the Switch got something like 2,500 games last year, and maybe that's a little bit more of a problem because the Switch store sucks. But at the same time, it's like the answer to me isn't and hasn't ever been, let's find a way to stop people from making so many games and let's stop them from putting it on the store. I will always be in the position of, I don't want these stores making decisions for me. I can decide not to buy something and I'll be just fine. Although, when we talk about Nintendo, that's a little bit troublesome because it seems like there's no chance they're ever going to fix that store. But they can. We see the evidence of it. The Steam store is out there. But yeah, so it sounds like this is not something you don't even think about, right? Because it doesn't bother you?
No, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't bother me at all. It seems like, I don't know, my curation for Steam is often like people. It's often from friends or podcasts or things like that anyways. Now, at some point, the curation has to be good enough for these people to find out. I don't know. Whatever's happening, it seems like it works. It seems like whenever something's worth playing, or even if something's niche for me, somebody tells me about it. Maybe I'm in a bit of a unique situation, right? Because we have like viewers and stuff who say, hey, look, here's this game that's like Mega Man.
Well, yeah, but it's a feed loop, right? Someone tells us about it, then we tell people about it, and then people want to tell us about more stuff. And yeah, there's ways to find out. And people are in Discords. People have friends. They have family. You're not going to find out about every game, but like, so what? At a certain point, you're not going to find out about every song. That would be crazy to be like being to expect to live in a world where you should be able to consume every song that's made. That's absurd. Why would you? No one would ever think that. That's stupid.
I mean, what was the alternative exactly?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Can't release their games. Like, I mean, it's better to release all the games and then just let the good ones be found than to, I don't know, try to have some kind of hardcore curation, like what games can't be on there. Because again, there's some games that would, like, so like the Benny Foddy stuff, whatever that you like somebody just looking at that for 10 seconds,
exactly,
because they have 5,000 games to look at or whatever, it's gonna be like, well, that doesn't get on here, obviously.
Right? It looks just like all these other, like Suika Game looks just like all these other things. It's like not everyone likes Suika Game, of course. Like I get that, but I do. And
it deserves to be a game.
Yeah, exactly. And it deserves to be able to be in a place where it can make money for the work that went into it. And obviously it's like, okay, it's frustrating if, a game that is good gets drowned out by all these other ones. It's sort of like, okay, but we're not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater to like solve that problem. There are other solves for that we can come up with. Let's just like relax about trying to be so militant about quality control. No one knows what that means. It means something different to everybody. And I kind of, every time people have this idea in their head about like we need to do this to protect the gamers from what, like get over it. You're not actually being harmed by seeing a bad game exist. And honestly, if you buy the bad game, especially on Steam, the refund process is so robust that just you automatically get your money back if you play it for an hour and a half and you decide it looks like it plays like shit. Just do that. So yeah, every time this topic comes up, I'm always going to be a little bit like, I don't understand this complaint really. So fair enough. Finally, here, the last one I have written down here, and maybe we can talk about some other stuff though. Miyamoto said he's not thinking about retiring. Not really, not in any real way.
Sure.
He has definitely moved on from active hands-on game development. That's something we've been saying for years and years and years. It's something they've confirmed. Basically, he's passed the baton for almost all the franchises. He's not going to be in there designing the Mario games, even Pikmin 4. Probably not too involved in that. I'm sure he had some oversight in that more than maybe some of the other things like Zelda and Mario. But, they brought in Aiding, and that was a work-for-hire team. But he's like, yeah, that's totally fine. I want to make space for the next generation. He even said, like, I like to pretend I'm not working on these things as much as possible to force the younger staff to take over roles that they would want me to do because they don't want to step on my toes. So I make it look like I'm doing even less work than I'm actually doing. So he's thinking about, finding a way to give confidence to this next generation of developers so they can take over for him. And then what he's spending his time doing otherwise is, obviously Super Nintendo World. And he says he's reading a lot of scripts from Hollywood so he can figure out how to take Nintendo magic and apply it to Hollywood. And I'm very excited about that, actually. I think that's a great way for him to spend his, golden years here. How about you?
No, I think that makes a lot of sense, this transmedia stuff, the kind of expanding the Nintendo empire, if you will, to these different branches. And he seems actually pretty good at that, right? Like, we've already had basically hits with the 2 projects there that he's been pretty visible about, the Super Nintendo World with Universal and Super Mario Brothers movie with Illumination. So it seems like his involvement with that really does matter, and it is a lot of work. It is important. So keeping up with that is definitely enough of a job for him. And yeah, I think we still all want him to be involved with the game side to certain degrees. But it is good to get that next generation up and going so that you're not going to have a problem where, when we do live in a post-Shiggy world where it's just like, well, I guess that's it for Nintendo then, or something like that.
Yeah, I always like point out that like my feeling about the future of Nintendo is similar. Like, people wanted to work at Disney because they have an affinity for Disney, and so Disney's able to attract the people that are most creative and most understand Disney and want to keep that magic alive. And I think the same thing will happen in Nintendo. As someone who understands like the history of Disney, does that sound accurate to you, or is there something else that I'm missing there?
No, I think that's right. I think that makes a lot of sense. People compare Shigeru Miyamoto to like a Walt Disney, and that comparison makes sense in a certain amount of ways. It's definitely definitely that
obviously
public
the best
kind of
comparison is the person that's most like Walt Disney is Vince McMahon, the Disney, the current modern day Disney with that mustache.
Yeah, well, he's got the mustache now, right? Right. But no, I think you're right. Like, these brands are just so widespread and beloved now that as long as there's not some kind of major mess up, they should be able to attract talent. But then it becomes about retaining talent and giving that talent actually a chance to sort of show what they got and to step up into these roles. And it seems like that's something he's actually thinking about, and that's what's important. Yeah,
and for now, it seems like Nintendo's got a really strong culture of, we do things the Nintendo way. We take our time. We're not going to rush these things. We're going to think about the creative solution instead of the expensive and long-term solution. Let's come up with something that's going to work now and is going to. And then if it does take more time, that's fine. We have the time to spare because we have other things making money for us now. And very few other companies in the gaming space are operating that way. And honestly, like even Disney doesn't work that way these days. They got to rush to the next thing. So Nintendo in a very unique position. But if they can keep that culture going forward as much as possible, I think it will be to the benefit even long after we're all dead. So yeah. And I thought I had something else to say about Miyamoto, but I might not. I don't know. That kind of does it for the big news stories I wanted to talk about. There was like stuff like George Bowser being out of prison, and people thought he was involved in that MiG switch flash cart. That's probably not exactly true, but I can't wait for that card to come out so we can actually see what it's like. So we can kind of get past this weird phase.
Right, like what is it actually doing?
Yeah, exactly. And also, I kind of can't wait to see like Nintendo's response to it. Although I don't know how much they can do. They never did much about the ones for the DS and the 3DS, at least as far as I could tell. They probably did some stuff that I'm just not remembering, but it always felt like those things were readily available no matter what Nintendo did about it. So yeah, I kind of want to see what this thing actually ends up looking like, and we'll see from there. Anything else happened this week that you want to talk about, though, Mike?
I don't know. You probably
Gary
know more
Bowser.
about it.
Thank you. Yes, that's right, Salim. Sorry, Gary Bowser.
You probably know more about it than I do. What exactly is the Square Enix president saying about AI? Is this like that other Square Enix president talking about NFTs and then not much actually happened? Is this like more let's make board members happy thing, or you think this is another misguided understanding of what's happening? Or I think
it's all of the above, right? It is it's misguided, but it's also it's to make board members and investors happy. Yes, obviously. And they always talk about it in the most top level vague way that it instills no confidence in me. Like, there are clear ways to use AI to do very cool things. I think there was maybe it was Embark or someone made a game recently where they had a robot in it, and the way what was that? Is that Embark?
It was Embark. Yeah. They teach a robot how to walk by like killing it a billion times.
Yeah, deep learning, basically. Yes, and that's a thing that that's been around for years, where it's like early examples of deep learning was like, okay, we're gonna build this robot and have it have actuated joints. And then we're going to just say, okay, figure out how to move. And it's going to try a bunch of different things. And we're like, the end goal is to move the smoothest and as fast as possible, figure out what that motion actually looks like. And then they're able to iterate on it millions of times in, over a few days. And the thing eventually figures out the most optimal way to move. And then they just make that the animation for the thing. That's cool. Square Enix doesn't seem like they're saying anything like that, or they're not saying anything like, we're going to do what like NVIDIA does with its deep learning, where we're going to train images or train a computer model on what the ideal version of what this game looks like, so we can actually run it way down here and then just kind of cheat to get back up to that awesome image quality. They're just saying AI. And that's it. And it's
it can mean so many things, right? It's at least it's better than NFTs, because NFTs there's really no good way to do that.
Right.
We know exactly what they meant. Here it is annoying because it is just this buzzword, and there are like bad ways of using it. Like especially Square Enix. If you're like, I could worry about a million bad AI remasters and remakes, right? Like Grand Theft Auto trilogy on steroids, kind of a thing. That's what I worry about.
Yep. And so, I mean, I think the most disappointing part of it is this is a new president. People were expecting a different tone. And it turned out, no, this person's kind of even more of those things. Because he also mentions NFTs still, or the blockchain in this letter. So that hasn't gone away either. So
how?
Yeah, how?
Oh, my God.
Yep. So it's baffling and frustrating. And investors might be happy by it. But investors are so fickle and worthless to pander to, in my opinion. What investors want is to see a strong product, a strong affinity from your customers toward your product and towards your brand. And we could see what that looks like from other companies. Capcom, clear, good example of what you should be building your publisher to look like right now. Sega, moving in that direction. And it's like, man, Sega is kind of figuring this out better than you are, Square Enix. You never want to be outdone by Sega, but it's like all credit to Sega. They got like some ideas, like really good ideas, and they're gonna like try to make it work. And we'll see what those games are like. Maybe all of them are terrible, but the idea of let's build on these classic franchises that we haven't done anything with in a long time and see if we can make a couple of them stick. I love that. I'm glad they're doing it, and it's a much better play than what a lot of these other companies are doing. And I think it just makes Square Enix not just look out of touch, but extremely out of touch right now. So, yeah, we'll see what next year's letter looks like, because I highly doubt we're going to get to the end of this year and be like, remember all that great AI stuff from Square Enix? That just seems like laughable at this point.
Like, what is that possibly going to manifest into?
Yeah. All right, that does it for the news. We're going to take a quick break. If there's something you guys want to talk about, you could always drop a super chat here during the show. We will get to all of them, like I said, before the end. In fact, we have a few that we're going to get to right after this.
This is a break. I think that that's a Japanese thing. I think Japan has like a more, they haven't like turn around on NFTs, I think, because every time I read a news about like an anime or something, there's like an NFT attached to it. It's like, oh, they still doing this shit over there? It's
yeah,
like,
I think they kind of, but I think a lot of that stuff is just momentum, because like there's no way they're doing it because they think they're going to make a ton of money. That market has crashed for NFTs, so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah,
sometimes it's licensed stuff too, like
right?
The
Contractual.
The Mega Man NFTs, that was all Capcom Taiwan. It wasn't actually Capcom Japan.
Right.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, you ready for the super chats?
Yep, I can go back right. Yep, I'm ready for him.
All right. And we're back, and we have some super chats. Mike, why don't you handle those?
Absolutely. The first one here is from Ali Miracle. It says, switch to screen. Dual screens are back. I mean, yeah, look, that's always like the one funny thing we can imagine. But hey, even then, probably not. Probably just going to.
That Aya Neo Duo or whatever, the one that's basically like a DS, I think that's coming out soon. I should try to get my hands on. I'll just buy one. You know what? I'll just buy it.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, why not? That's all the excuse you needed, huh?
Yeah.
Kevon says, what will be in the Switch 2 Ambassador program? A bunch of Wii U games, actually.
That'd be
Star
funny.
Fox Zero.
That'd be really
Star
funny.
Fox Guard.
And
just those two games.
Yoshi's
actually.
Island again for some reason. They'll make it exclusive to the Ambassador program. Like I was always so mad about that because I was not a 3DS ambassador, so I couldn't play Yoshi's Island on my 3DS. And I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, but it was the Game Boy Advance version that replaced
That's true.
the Yoshi sound effects with the newer ones, which wasn't as good.
Which is bad.
Edgar Moreno says, if I'm bad at Mega Man, what mod should I use? Infinite health, infinite lives, or save states? Just use save states, just every time you clear a screen, make a save state and just practice that screen until you kind of learn how to get through it. And, you can beat the game that way and still feel like you beat the game. Who cares? And eventually you do that. You're going to just get good at Mega Man where you won't need to depend on it as much. Infinite lives is basically just a more brute force save state because, there's just like one checkpoint per stage 2, one in the middle of a stage and then one before the boss. So you often have to go back further is all. So save states will probably just be easier.
Yeah.
Super Blast Tech says, Tetris 99 was a ton of fun earlier. I won twice. I was there for Game Mess. I won for all of us. Bark, woof, rough. Thank you, Blast Tech. That was fun.
Yeah, that was really cool. Thanks for hanging out with us. It was fun to see you guys get to the top of the leaderboard.
It is terrifying when you are in like that final 10 in that game. Man, I can't even handle it.
Yeah,
it's tough.
I mean, I really remember the feeling of getting that one win, and it was just completely zoning out the entire world. Like you could only think about the piece in front of you and the next couple of pieces, and that's it. And if you're thinking about anything else, you're going to be screwed.
I still want my one win. We'll see. We have a first super chat here, a really generous one from a KB Esquire for $50. Thank you so much, KB. Kevin Batia. They say, always listen to the podcast, but jumping in here for 2 seconds to show some love. Thank you,
Kevin.
So much, Kevin. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, Grug says, what happens first? Long-awaited Zelda blowout on the Switch, Cody finishing the story, or Dan's finger healing? Dan's finger should heal pretty quick. It'll be a while till he admits it. That's for sure. But still, it'll heal.
Yeah, it's probably going to be good here in a couple of weeks. And it's a knuckle, I guess.
A couple of weeks. That's crazy because you still have to play your game for a week. And then there's going to be a week off, you said, so you could do something else. Why is it my turn instead again?
Because his fingy hurts.
Oh, my. You were more upset than anybody that he used the phrase fingy hurts.
Well, he didn't use it. His doctor did.
Oh, my God.
Did he said how he broke his finger? Because I missed that part.
Yeah, don't worry. But it's the macaroni
mac and cheese tub.
We can't get into it. We can't get into that now.
Okay, I'll check it out later.
We just cannot.
Okay, all y'all dropped the stupid conversation because Mike, I think he needs to circle back and skip one. Did you get the Andrew 13?
He'll get it.
Did I get the Andrew 13?
We'll get him to Andrew 13. Don't worry.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's not showing up on my list for some
Xbox
reason.
Dev Direct this month. There's been some rumors. I think it's pretty likely. Yeah, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think it's pretty likely. That always felt like we get through the new year and they would probably be ready to go with an Xbox Developer Direct relatively soon. If not now. I mean, within the first 3 months, it seems like for sure. But I always thought Xbox would be the first one ready to go.
Rodrigo Pinto has joined the Leakin tier, so thank you so much, Rodrigo. Appreciate that. Nick Turbo asks or says, when people talk about curation on game stores, they're talking about the obvious spam, like AAA Clock and The Last of Us ripoff.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but there are things that are going to look like obvious spam. Here's my position. I always think it's better to let more things in than have a false positive and be like, no, that thing is spam. And it turns out, no, that was someone just trying and they did a bad job. Because next time they might try and do a good job. We don't know. And we don't want to discourage them and be like, well, your game's not allowed on here because someone somewhere decided it was bad. I think that means we have to accept that we're going to occasionally get some Last of Us. Last of
Buffs. That sounds like a hunky game.
Yeah. The day before. That's what that one was called. Yeah, occasionally we're going to get some day befores. Get your refunds. I mean, what's the problem? Get your refunds. Everybody, you're allowed to go get your refund. There's no real problem here, I don't think. So let's just let everything through. It continues to be my position.
And then Dog and Human says, loved Mario RPG, and given that's a pretty entry-level RPG, I'm a hungry boy for more. What are some similar level ones to check out? Thanks, homies. I think that Chrono Trigger is actually not very difficult. That's a relatively simple one you can get into. If you want to play Final Fantasy 4, probably be pretty simple one to jump into. You can get that Pixel Remaster on Switch. Although 6, it wouldn't necessarily be all that difficult either, really, in terms of mechanics and things like that.
How is Sea of Stars in terms of difficulty? I always think a game where you can dodge enough so you don't have to take any damage on a turn.
Yeah,
is probably like the right ideal for this, right? Can you do that in Sea of Stars?
Yeah, I think Sea of Stars. Well, you can't dodge all damage. I think eventually you are just minimizing it. But it's very mechanically similar to Mario RPG, so you can be good there. Sea of Stars, if you want to play something that's kind of newer and shinier, I think Sea of Stars actually will be pretty good to go to. That's
and
right.
Superstar Saga, make sure you're playing that.
And Superstar Saga, all the other Mario RPGs obviously are completely work for that whole thing.
Did you read Big Fresh 37s? Any
idea what Jake Solomon is working on? This is the XCOM guy.
Yeah, man, there wasn't there a news story a few months back? Isn't he working on? I can't remember now. So
he's forming a new studio and
Star
likely
Wars.
won't make a turn-based game. He's doing Star Wars.
Yes, is he doing Star Wars? I think isn't he the one doing Star Wars with I'm sorry, with the Jedi Survivor team, Respawn. I thought he was. Yeah, I thought that was the new studio working with Respawn, but maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe that's someone else. I thought that was Jake Sullivan.
Maybe when I search Jake Sullivan Star Wars, I don't really get anything.
Yeah, because he's Bit Reactor. Yeah, Bit Reactor is doing the Star Wars strategy game with Respawn. Oh. Yes, I think that's right.
Well, there you go. Ecto Coola says, I just beat Donkey Kong 94 and it lived up to all the hype. It should come to NSO ASAP. Yes, it should. Gosh, I love that game, especially with that. It's a quote unquote sequel getting remade soon. Just put Donkey Kong 94 on there.
That probably happens, right? They probably just do that.
You would hope.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Is that the first one to have the first game to have that side jump, the side somersault, according to Nintendo? But we called it side jump back then.
I think it might be. God, that thing feels good.
It's so good, and it's basically that game basically has the Mario 64 moveset before Mario 64.
Kind of does. It feels very, very good.
It's so good.
I was about to ask, when did Donkey Kong 94 come out? But don't worry.
Let's fucking go.
Don't worry, I caught myself, everybody. That's self-reported. But yeah, it almost happened.
Any other super chats, Mike?
That's it for now. Thank you so much, everybody. If you want to send in more, we will get to them before the end of the show.
When we started we had like 2 super chats, and then they just flooded in. Thank you, everybody. And also, Miyamoto, we got to keep Miyamoto working because we got to keep getting super chats from Miyamoto. I didn't see you here, so oh well.
Wow, we had a whole story about him even. Jeez. Yeah,
jeez.
I guess he's shy.
Well,
maybe like when we talk about
maybe he's saving his money because he actually is going to retire, and I think that's perfectly fine.
No, that's very responsible of him.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, another quick break, then we come back. Sean, do we have the results of is it just the Fantasy Critic League, or do we have
It's
it?
the Fantasy Critic, yes.
Okay, we'll talk about that real quick. We'll talk about our plans for that, generally speaking, and then we will also talk about we'll do our big topic of the week, which is going to be the Mount Rushmore of puzzle games. All of that right after this.
We are on the break.
All right, I am good to go if
Alright,
everyone
you
else
wanna
is.
You,
I
you
got
want to
a
set up
couple things set
the?
up.
Yeah.
What's that, Christian?
Do you have
Christian?
the? No, if you want to set up the thing for the topic, like the
Yeah,
tribute.
I got the sheets ready to go. It's just gonna just take us.
Let's-
Oh wait, that's over here. Let me get in
Okay.
the right browser.
Remember, you can double click on top of the thing to make it bigger.
Yep, I will. I'll do it this time.
Perfect. So we're ready.
Wait, Christian, I think Sean said he has something. He's
Yeah,
gotta
give
get
me one
some
sec.
stuff.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said you already had that. My bad.
Just gotta get the stream pulled
Maybe.
up.
Kind of want to watch Rebel Moon again.
Why you
No, you
hated
don't.
it?
Yeah, I know, but
kinda
it's
wanna
like
watch
at this point, it's like I hate it
too.
so much that I kind of like hate how much I hate it.
Hey,
God
yes.
damn it.
Oh my God, Chef, get the fuck out of my brain.
Wait. Is this Netflix or Amazon Prime?
That's Netflix.
Netflix.
That's the new Zack Snyder movie.
Darn, I guess we can't do it for any content. How unfortunate.
Yeah, man, that would rule. We should just there's party watch apps and stuff for browsers. We could just figure that out.
Netflix doesn't have a party. I'm pretty sure Netflix has a party chat thing.
Yeah, but I don't think it's
We can do it here illegally.
Yeah,
Sure, who's gonna?
Zack Snyder would never
Complain.
come for us. Mount Rushmore,
Zack Snyder would never what?
come for me.
Okay.
I know what Zack Snyder come for.
I'm just racking up the sound bites this week. This is
By
great.
Jesus.
by the beginning of that movie, I know what he likes.
Oh well, yeah. You like
The
tentacle
space,
porn.
The space, yeah.
Okay. Now you're interested.
Well, you know.
All right, Sean, are you ready?
Rebel Moon, yeah.
I am. Do you have it pulled up?
Oh yeah, there it is. No, but I will have it pulled up in a moment. So here.
It's called Rebel Moon. Nothing happened on that moon. They lived that moon right away.
Oh, and Bob said make sure to crop it properly, which I think is hilarious considering he gave you a black border to work with.
What? Yeah, I can't. Right, exactly, and it blends into my Discord, so it'll be impossible. But I'll do my best. All right, let's see here. Game. There we go. That's Discord.
Respect the artist, goddammit.
Yeah, I want more likes.
Yeah, listen to the man.
Oh shit. Well,
You know the
they have to
drill.
get
If Mikey ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. Give us those
Wait,
likes.
chips more.
I'm literally having
You know
trouble.
what they
keeping my
should
eyes
use
open.
AI for? They should use for matchmaking. On
They
every game.
should. They should.
Isn't they already do?
They use
No, they don't.
algorithms and stuff. But not like
Algorithm,
AI,
but-
the way we talk
They
about it
don't
today.
use AI, yeah.
An algorithm that sort of learns.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm ready.
Oh, thank God you got that ready. Yes.
All right. You guys are
All
good.
right.
You guys good?
Should be, yeah.
I'm stacking chips.
Yep.
I'm good.
Yep. And we're back, and we got a couple things to do. First is let's recap our Game Mess Fantasy Critic League. I am going to predict I did very poorly because things went kind of sideways for me in the middle of the year, and I never recovered. I'm going to say Mike did even worse because he thought Final Fantasy VII Remaster 2 remake thing was going to come
Rebirth.
out. Reforge was going to come out this year, and what stupid bastard he
Wow,
is,
yeah, I'm a
right?
stupid idiot. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can never recover from that.
Never recover from that. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now, and I bet
Yeah,
that
but-
won't
and
change.
what- yeah, what did we do a bet about me or Jeff who would have more points? Was there anything ever said about that? I wonder.
I highly
We
doubt
have
that I
to
would be
ask
so
the
stupid.
Commissioner, yeah, I don't
so-
remember.
so wrong. I'm just gonna leave it until you guys can see it. All right. So, Sean, how are we doing this?
Well, first of all, we should probably explain to everyone what the hell this is. So if you're unfamiliar, because we haven't talked about this in a while, Fantasy Critic is a website where you can do predictions on the Metacritic scores of games. Or OpenCritic, do we use? I think it's OpenCritic. Basically, you do play it like fantasy football, where you want to draft a team, quote unquote, of games that release throughout the year. As each game scores, it gets added to your score, and at the end of the year, the person with the best scoring games, based on some criteria there, wins. There's a few more rules to that we can get to some other time, but that's all you need to know for this recap here. Basically, we're just looking to prove who was the best at predicting what games would do really, really well this year and managing their little budget there they get on the website correctly. Now, Jeffrey Grubb, who is paying very much attention right now.
I'm remembering that I wanted to get everyone at Giant Bomb to sign up for Fantasy Critics so we can do it on the Bombcast for Vengeance, and I'm realizing we're doing that tomorrow.
We can do that later, anyways.
If you can sign up on that right now. Okay, I sent it. All right.
Cool. I need your help with something.
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, what can I do? I'm the best at helping.
I need your pro shoutcaster skills right here.
All right, let's go. All right.
Because I just saw what this is just now. Get ready.
Okay. All right. This is Game S Critics Jeff's League. All right, it starts out earlier in the year. We have Colin take it early. The Envision 49 jumped ahead with 18.8 points. Colin came back, though, very quickly at the bottom of the charts. We have Sewer Link getting on there. Tyler James Bay and Benji Bob making a huge leap with 15.9 points to put him in the top 5. But quickly that changes as Bench JC jumps ahead with 61 total points, almost double what anyone else had, until Bench JC matches that almost exactly. Vision 49 is in third place with 43.7 points. Oh, Benji Bob making a small gain. Things are moving around. Where am I? I've got 25 points right in the middle of the pack.
Oh, you're sinking.
You're
sinking.
The meaty part of the curve. Oh, I'm moving up. 37 points. And meanwhile, Beefhammer, 77.2 points by October of this year. Things are changing. Beefhammer gets even more points, 82. Epic Open World almost catches up, but at the last moment, Beefhammer pulls ahead with 96.3 points to take the win. The lead. Congratulations to Beefhammer. Runner-up Epic Open World with 79.5 points, and Snuvkin with 72.1 points.
Awesome.
Jeff Grubb with 20.
I mean, we don't listen. We don't have to.
Just keep a note of that.
There are 5 people below me, which is what I care about. The little people I could step on.
Now, keep in mind, Beefhammer doesn't like this, but we do crown an overall winner between the two leagues. They are conferences. So if anyone beats 96.3 over in the Mikey League for the year, they will be crowned the winner. But I don't know. It's a pretty good lead right there.
It's a pretty good score.
Will there be highlights? Because I'll just point out, I said, what game did I say wouldn't come out this year? Oh, Alan Wake 2. And so I counterpicked Alan Wake 2. Guess what? That didn't go very good for me.
I don't know exactly what's in these video clips. Bob was like, yeah, I prepared something interesting for you. I'm like, all right, we're just going to rock with this then.
I like it.
Now, last of the critique dogs is Mike's League. Jeff, would you please bring us through this one?
Yeah, I'm ready. Starts off early in the year. Barspeckle jumping ahead with 11 points, but Turbo Sean takes another lead, takes the lead, 16 points, and actually jumps ahead even further with 32 points. Rare Monkey matches that almost exactly. They switch the lead back and forth, but then Barspeckle catches up slightly. 30.4 points for Barspeckle. Meanwhile, down on the list, we have a lot of people in the negative that had to pay the price early for making some bad counter picks, I assume. Matt Rare Monkey takes almost a double lead with 67.9 points. Mike Minotti, however, making moves. Early on, Mike Minotti looked pretty bad, but he's already got 36.7 points, putting him in third, right behind Screaming Madden. Then Mike makes a huge leap ahead, 48.6 points. He's still in second, far behind Matt Rare Monkey with 75 points, until he makes another choice, 68.1 points. Right there in second still, ahead of Screaming Madden at 66. Uncharted Wolf, though, makes a charge to the top with 90 points exactly to finish out the year, leaving Matt Rare Monkey in second with 75 points. Don Otaku in third place with 71.4, and that's it.
I was at that was it.
Mike Minotti and in fourth place just by a hair at 70.2. So just about a point and a half behind Don Otaku, only 5 points behind second place Matt Rare Monkey. So really good showing for Mike. Mike, what was the big play for you that made a difference?
Well, Pikmin 4 helped a lot. I just didn't. I besides Pikmin 4, I didn't have very many other big gains, but I didn't have any. I had nothing hurting me necessarily. I didn't have any like, oh, I accidentally picked this game that I didn't think was going to come out. I mean, I did do that with Rebirth, but then I just dropped it and got something else. The thing that stopped me from winning is that I did have Mina the Hollower on my list. I kept hoping it was going to come out. And then when it never quite happened, I had to like bounce off to some indie game. At the
I
last
could have told
second.
you
I got
that when
a couple points.
because I played that game at Summer Game Fest, and they made it very clear it was not coming out this year.
Oh, well, that would have been
Yeah.
that'd be inside info, and that would be cheating.
Yeah, which we welcome here in this league.
right. But no, I'm
it's
pretty happy
important
with my performance.
It's important to note that Uncharted Wolf's just absolute leap to the top there at the end was because of Asgard's Wrath 3 reviewing very, very well.
Yep, two. But Asgard's Wrath 2.
Quest 3.
Yep, and that
Asgard's
game
Wrath
got
2.
like a 92 or 91 on Metacritic.
That was huge. That was
that's going to make a huge difference, especially when everyone is kind of assuming, well, all the heavy hitters are done. There's no one that's going to have a huge 30-point scorer.
Yeah, I did have like a game get like in the 80s that was a big surprise. I have to look it up now. What it
Bob
was.
also points out that so counter picking, as I didn't mention, you are required to counter pick games, basically games that you think will score below the 70
that someone else has picked. Yes, it has to be something someone else has
picked. Yes, so you are saying, oh, you picked this game. I actually think that game won't do very well. I'm going to counter pick it, and if you are right, you actually gain points. And he points out that you broke even on a couple there, so that like sort of helped you stay stable.
Yeah, I got Wargroove 2 surprisingly got me a lot of points because that got an 84 on Open Critic. Total War Pharaoh only got me 6 points. I was hoping that'd do better. I think that I was robbed because other outlets didn't see the brilliance of the Crew Motorfest. That has a Open Critic of a 77. That should be in the 80s. I don't. It would have been enough, but it would have gotten me a nice second place at least.
Well, listen, that's a really good showing after it was a bad start for you. Like
it was a very bad start. Then I spent like $15 on one game or whatever because I didn't know how anything worked. So sure, we made so everybody look out. Next year's my year. I know how this stuff works now.
He knows how it works now.
It
yes,
took me a few years, but I understand this shit now.
But hey, there will be a next time. We're going to get this going again pretty soon. Do we have like a solid date?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. So at the end of things here, we have the Game Mess Fantasy Critic combined top 10 for 2023. I'll go from 10 up. Number 10, we have Microsoft We Are For Sale. Mr. Benji Bop headed that one up. Number 9 was Nintendo Ohio. Screaming Madden headed that one up. Number 8, Drunk Nerd Pod Gaming. That was headed up by Tyler James Bay. Number 7th, would you look at that? Minotti Too Hottie, headed up by our own Mike Minotti right there. Number 6 was Big Brain Games Wear Arts from Don Otaku. 5 was Tears of the Shareholders from Snubkin. I see what this is as they are abbreviated. That's what's going on there. Because 4 is Like a Dragon Heavy Industries, I believe is how that one ends, from Matt Rare Monkey. And then the top 3, third place was Epic Open World's Gamer Meat Studio. Second place was the Uncharted Wolves Bad Games Inc. And then he can finally say that he won the whole thing because I beat him last year. Beef Hammer with Buble et Ludi. I forget what this means. I believe is Hammer of the Beef. It might be something else.
Nice.
Either way, very nicely done there, Beef Hammer.
Yeah, 96.3 points. That is massive. Really well done.
Mike versus
We have
Jeff.
a little bonus here. Mike versus Jeff.
We don't need to do this.
1v1. Let's just get this going.
Make this quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I take an early lead, 23.1 points, and we're going to cut it off there. Oh shit! Mike just jumps ahead with 36 points. And then I make a small move, barely crossing the 30 marker. No, I'm catching up. No way, Mike Minotti just eclipsed me, more than double my points. Okay, now I'm catching up. I got
Alan Wake 2 just released.
I was like catching up. It's like begins approaching 50 points, and then Alan Wake 2 comes out, and I drop all the way back down to 28.4
Yes, you
points.
counterpicked Alan Wake 2, right?
Yeah, I thought it wasn't going to come out this year. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's another rule of counterpicking, everybody, is if you think a game won't release and you counterpick it, you will break even there.
This is the important
You can't drop those
one
either.
right here.
Yes.
You cannot drop a counterpick, exactly. So, very nicely done, Mike. Confidently beating Jeff this year.
Yes,
well done.
That's a good.
Okay. Anyways, to round things out here, Bob says, are you interested in joining us for the 2024 game? Well, anyone who is a podcast producer, patron, Twitch sub, or YouTube member, basically, if you have access to the secret channels of the Discord, discord.gg/gameus, check the podcast producers Discord channel pins. We're going to give you more information there. Benji Bop is going to announce some things. We're going to pin it so that way we can keep it all in one place. You will need to fill out a Google form in order to participate. If you do not fill out this form, you will not be playing. The deadline to fill out the form is January 11th, 2024. So 1 week as of this podcast recording. Further details such as the date of the draft, which league you personally will be a part of, because we had the two conferences, and the finalized rule set will all be announced next week on the show. But plan on the draft to be sometime within the next 2 weekends. I think we're doing 2 weekends from now.
Okay.
Sunday.
Yeah, that sounds good. That should work. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, we should. Yeah, we'll definitely have that finalized in the Discord. So if you want to participate, make sure to look there. But it will probably be 2 weekends from now on, like the 14th, I think.
Yeah. Right.
Any other further communications will come from Bop or myself. And he adds, if you have any questions, feel free to ask Benji Bop any questions in the Discord. And he is the grand chairman of this whole thing. He's the one who puts all the hard work. So thanks again, Benji Bop. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to him.
Mike, if I do one of these, like the smaller crew at Giant Bomb, do you want to be on that so we can go head to head in a league?
Okay, yeah, whatever. I'll
Cool.
do both.
Cool. Yeah, that'll be fun too. Hey, this is fun. I'm glad we do this. This is actually a really cool thing. I promise to do better next year because I probably can't do worse.
Not too much better, please.
Yes. Well, we'll see. We'll see. All right, that was great. Thank you everybody for helping with that. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you guys helping with those leagues, and thank you for everyone who participated. All right, Sean, is there anything else that we need to do here, or are we good to get to the topic?
No, you guys are good to go.
All right, thank you very much. Just give me a second while I fix that. I'll be right there. Just turn this off. There we go.
Turn this that way, this that way,
this that way, and this that way, and then fade in. There we go. All right. Mike, let's do the Mount Rushmore puzzle games. We haven't done a Mount Rushmore in a while, so let's explain. Mount Rushmore has 4 presidents' faces on it. Basically, the presidents that are most emblematic of what it means to be a president. Maybe, I don't know. That's how it goes here, though. If you are going to be on our Mount Rushmore of puzzle games, as I spelled it here, I'll fix that. You are going to be very emblematic of this, in our opinion.
Hey, I think my head's not showing.
Oh, I'll fix your head. Just give me a second.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We can't. You're known in this industry for your head, so we got to make sure that people can.
Yeah, they made a cake of it once.
Uh-huh. All right. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, Mike. Where do you want to start? Mount Rushmore puzzle games. We probably should start with an argument. Hey, Mike, what's a puzzle game?
Yeah, that's the problem, man. Because this is gonna be rough. Because
is The Witness a puzzle game?
What's that?
Is The Witness a puzzle game?
See, that's my problem. Is when you say puzzle game, I think of like block droppy or like matchy kind of things. That's what I think of first and foremost. Then there's like lots of gradients to all the ways like, well, there's sure a lot of puzzles in God of War, right?
Yeah,
obviously that's too much.
Right. If you came to me and said you want to play a puzzle game and hand me God of War, I would probably stab you.
Yeah, but I also... even something like Monkey Island, though, which is that's all you do really is solve puzzles. I would be like, of course, that's not a puzzle game. What are you talking about? The Witness. Witness is definitely a puzzle game, though. Witness is like you're basically playing something that could almost be like a newspaper puzzle and that kind of thing.
How about Myst?
That's more of an adventure game to me, which is like I know it's crazy. I know, like everyone. I understand the actual words don't necessarily make sense sometimes. Neither does it with like role playing game. But Myst is much more like a Monkey Island. Like we could do a whole best adventure game thing, point and click, whatever you want to call it. So
yeah,
like what like how do you feel about like Obra Dinn, right? Because
I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah,
like,
I was just thinking about that. Obra Dinn and Curse of the Golden Idol. I guess I don't think about those as puzzle games. They're like something else, although clearly they're puzzle games.
Like mysteries. Which
yeah,
mystery
games.
Than a puzzle, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Should we just go and like call it as we see it as we go along?
Yeah, it's one of those I'll know it when I see it kind of things.
Yeah. Puzzle games, exactly like pornography. No difference between the two. All right. Well, then, with that said, let's get started. Mike, what do you want to nominate for the Mount Rushmore of puzzle games?
I guess Tetris. I guess we'll go with Tetris first.
I mean, listen, if you're going to be outlandish. All right.
I'm actually in my biggest Tetris era this year. When traveling, I was playing a lot of Tetris Effect and beating that, and then I started playing Tetris 99 a lot more. And been enjoying that. I play a little bit of that almost every night before going to bed. And man, it's Tetris is funny because it's this game I played my entire life, and yet only now at the age of 37, I'm like, okay, I think I'm really getting Tetris and actually how this all works. We are kids, just like, yeah, make lines clear wherever you can, and that's about as deep as you go. And you make all these mistakes, so you're not thinking optimally. And there are so many ways to think optimally with Tetris, and there's just so many ways you can have variations of it.
Yeah, and it's yeah, right. The variations are the thing that impressed me the most at this point is like, oh yeah, someone had a new idea to do something different with Tetris, and yeah, this works as well. You know, Puyo Puyo Tetris works. Tetris 99 works. Tetris Effect works. And then all like the slight variations between just, oh no, this is just straight up Tetris. But yeah, there's many different ways to do that. Because it is kind of a perfect game. You know, you don't really take much away and you don't add much to the core way that Tetris works. You just make some slight tweaks here and there, and then maybe you add a gimmick. And that can be pretty neat sometimes. Yeah, Tetris definitely, almost certainly going to be on the Mount Rushmore of puzzle games.
It's the George Washington.
It's the George Washington. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, like I want to, I guess I kind of want to stick in falling block puzzle games, but I probably should just get this out of the way since we just talked about it. I do think The Witness probably can play here. It's going to get very crowded very quickly. I will be interested to see how much I want to keep The Witness on this list as we get more like traditional ideas of what a puzzle game are on this list. But The Witness is one of those games that really made me feel a way about solving puzzles. Like it got my brain really working, and I didn't solve all like the in-world puzzles. I couldn't find all of them, but every puzzle I did find, I solved on my own. Some of them took a really long time. Some of them, like the one puzzle, the audio puzzle, and there's a video of this on this YouTube channel. I took the audio clip and put it in Premiere so I could see how it was like moving up and down on the audio waves. And then I applied that back to the game so I could figure out like, okay, here's what the puzzle wants me to do. And I have no memory of how to actually solve that now. But in the moment when I solved that, I stood up and cheered and was like so excited because I felt so accomplished. And that's the same thing for the challenge at the end of the game, where it's like a timed, a randomized version of all these puzzles. When I finally got through that gauntlet, that was also just a top tier gaming moment for me. And that's just because the puzzle solving in that game is so good.
Yeah, it's a little difficult for me because I don't like this game as much as you.
Sure.
Because basically I wasn't as good as it as you are. I guess maybe like Mount Rushmore, you maybe lose me a bit on that. Just in some sense, Jeff, I don't hear other people talk about this game certainly the way you do.
Yeah, they are out there, but it's not like you're not going to get everyone feeling that way, of course. But yeah, let's just leave it there for now. Let's see where we get.
Yeah, that's fair. Is Portal a puzzle game?
I don't know, man. Is it?
I think it is, right?
Yeah, I
guess
guess
mostly a puzzle game more than anything else.
Yeah, I guess I'd probably call it a puzzle game.
Right now, I would probably say Portal instead of Portal 2, just because it's first, and I mean they're both good, so I may as well just pick the one that's first here.
And also, Portal feels like somehow more of a puzzle game than Portal 2 in some way. I don't know.
Yeah, so Portal definitely is, and that is just a fantastic game. I mean, that's definitely a game where solving the puzzles, figuring them out is fun, right? You have these basic rules, and it just all works. And you know, I really enjoyed the whole funny robot thing. That worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
I like a good funny robot.
Yeah, I mean, it's also one of those games where it's like you feel really smart when you solve it, and that's like key to me for a really good puzzle game. I mean, obviously, like the Tetris style of falling block stuff is like you enter a Zen state as you begin managing more than you ever thought you could manage at one time. That's one way of doing it. The other way is here's a puzzle. It's really challenging. If you can figure out, you're going to feel like a god. And Portal definitely does that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, someone in chat just mentioned it. It's definitely where I'm going to go next. Picross 3D. I love all the Picross games, but Picross 3D is especially cool. It takes the idea of, hey, you are inferring, you are deducing how this puzzle is going to get broken apart because of just a handful of numbers here and there. And as you begin figuring out where these numbers intersect, it is like, okay, you're thinking 3 or 4 or 5 steps ahead to be like, okay, the only possible way this puzzle can work is if it's these 3 blocks and nothing else in this line. Picross kind of hard to explain, but getting that deep on inferring what the puzzle information is giving you is super satisfying. It was always satisfying in Picross. Having that work in 3D is especially cool. So it's just, instead of just blocks in a XY axis, it's XYZ, and you're making little 3D objects. Picross 3D is incredible. It's one I've been thinking about going back to a lot recently.
Yeah, another one that's hard for me is because I have never. I need you to sit down with me and really maybe show me, or maybe it's supposed to be self-evident and it's just not for me because I've never figured out Picross. I don't know why.
I don't know if it's necessarily self-evident, but I mean, I think these are the kinds of things like you mentioned, like, oh yeah, these are the puzzles you're good at. This is stuff that like I look at it like, yeah, I just immediately get it, and I think you're better at like managing a lot of different ideas at once that would just overwhelm me. So I think, yeah, maybe it's not for you, but I don't know. We could stand. Maybe we do this on like a UPF sometime and play it.
I would want to actually bring up Puyo Puyo, which is probably another one of like the dropping items puzzle games that I love and can just play a ton of. I also think it's just kind of crazy that this was technically a spin-off of some RPG dungeon crawler series, like called Mado Monogatari, and like, you know, no one knows those games, but they still make Puyo Puyo games. It still has like those characters in it and things like that. Like that's where the Puyos come from. There's a versatility to Puyo. Like I liked that we had Dr. Robotnik's Bean Machine and Kirby's Avalanche, and you know, you did the Tetris matchup, and that worked really well. I don't know, Puyo Puyo. I think Puyo Puyo combos are super satisfying to set up and see happen. Also, I like the Puyos themselves. I like the fact that my blocks have eyes and then they get goopy.
Yeah, it's Puyo Puyo. Do you want to just have Puyo Puyo here or Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine?
Put Puyo Puyo. Just
Okay.
Puyo Puyo.
Okay, I got Puyo Puyo. I fell deeply in love with Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Oh yeah.
I played it at a friend's house, and then I'm like, hey, can I just like borrow this and your Genesis for a while? And played a ton of that for like a solid 2 weeks one summer. So yeah, really loved. That's when I got it, and then ever since, every time a Puyo Puyo game comes out, I'm always like, yes, this is very, very good. And then Puyo Puyo Tetris is fantastic as well.
Maybe one of my favorite surprise moments in a video game ever was playing Sonic Mania for review, getting to the end of the one level, and then the boss fight was actually just a match of Puyo Puyo against Dr. Robotnik, and it was a Dr. Robotnik Mean Bean Machine callback. That was incredible.
Yes, that is a very, very cool moment. All right, I think I'm going to go with Baba Is You. This is a more modern puzzle game, but it's also like one of the more creative ones where you're like pushing around these verbs and these different action words, and depending on how you do it, it almost ends up like feeling like programming. You're like, you could change the rules of the world. So you're like, you know, Baba is, you know, invincible, or Baba is transparent. They can like go through a wall or something. And you move these blocks around by having Baba actually physically move the blocks. And so it's like this recursive world where you are affected by the blocks you're moving, and then those blocks affect you, and now you could do something different. And it requires like thinking in a really lateral way and a really deep way at the same time. And that's I think that's a sign of like a really well thought out puzzle game. It can be a little overwhelming at times and like very challenging, I think very difficult. But that means the reward is even greater when you actually do overcome it.
There's a few I want to do. What would be the match 3 representation? I have a funny idea for the match 3 representation.
Let me just do it.
Well, maybe we should. Well, what do you think about Honey Pop?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay,
what do you think about Puzzle
funny.
Quest? What do you think about Puzzle Quest?
Yeah, Puzzle Quest is all right. I like Puzzle Quest.
Would it be Puzzle Quest or Bejeweled, I guess? And or would it be Candy Crush? I don't know. It's weird. Like match 3 is such a huge deal.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like it'd be weird to put Bejeweled on there. I guess if it's the Mount Rushmore, maybe it is Candy Crush. I just never played much of it, and Candy Crush always is like it's probably not pure enough, right? Because there's definitely going to be like you can only get to a certain level unless you spend money, right? I'm assuming. I've never played enough of it.
Oh, sure. So. I mean, that's the monetization, absolutely.
Yeah, but I think that kind of spoils the purity of a puzzle game.
What'd you have against Puzzle Quest?
Nothing. I just didn't play much of it.
I liked Puzzle Quest a lot. I thought for a while we were getting like these fun like genre spins, like just add a puzzle game. That's where you get Henry Hatsworth from, in some sense, right?
Yeah.
Like instead of RPG, what if it was a 2D action platformer? I think Puzzle Quest is one worth considering.
I like threes. I don't know if I love threes or like 2048. Do you love any of those?
No, I never. No, those like pure number ones didn't do much for me.
I like threes a lot, but I just don't know if I love it enough to try to force it onto this list. I guess I do really like Wordle. It's a word puzzle game.
Wordle's fun.
Yeah,
it's funny. It's like, is this a video game?
Yeah, but it's a puzzle game, right? So it's like when we start talking about that, obviously some puzzle games are very, very video gamey. But the Curse of the Golden Idol, they're mostly like static screens and you're like filling in blanks. So it's like that. It could almost be a book, like Curse of the Golden Idol at a certain point. So it's like that. We don't have to negotiate that. I don't think so.
Sure, I think Wordle's worth considering.
Yeah. And Wordle has a UI, it has feedback, so yeah, I'm gonna put Wordle up there.
I think I have like one more of like the drop down variety I feel strongly about. That would be the Panel de Pon / your Puzzle League, right?
Yes.
Tetris Attack, Pokemon Puzzle League.
Am I spelling that right? Is it just Panel de Pon?
Just how it sounds.
Yeah.
3 words.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. That one's always been very sad. So that's what I can definitely just get into a groove and just kind of end up playing that all night and have a good time. I think it's visually simpler than even like a Puyo Puyo. It's almost as easily readable as a Tetris, and it feels just as satisfying when things kind of drop the right way, and when you kind of learn ways to set up combos so things drop in the appropriate times. And God, that Pokemon version actually rules. I love Pokemon Puzzle League.
Is that Tetris Attack?
Tetris Attack, yeah.
Yeah. That's the one I played a lot of, and I really like Tetris Attack.
Same thing.
Yes, same. Yes. I never played the Pokemon one, but I know that you played it recently and really, really enjoyed it.
I love it. I liked it back then even. In fact, I had like a Tetris Effect thing with a Game Boy Color version of Pokemon Puzzle League, Pokemon Puzzle Challenge. That one was called back in the day, where I was just seeing those blocks in my sleep, kind of a thing. Good times.
How about we go to the podcast producers, unless there's any other ones you want to suggest before we do that?
No, there's something else I'm thinking of that I don't think would make it. So let's see if the podcast producers bring them up, and then we'll shit on their suggestion. How about that?
I love that. That sounds great to me. Hang on, let me puzzle Rushmore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send this link to you. So if there's anything we should add, you can do it. So I don't have to jump back and forth between these two windows.
Oh, that's a smart idea.
Yeah, there we go. Copy link.
Now we're cooking with gas.
Now we are officially cooking with gasoline. I'm going to put it in Booty Boys. There we go. All right, let's get back to podcast producers. There we go. And I even made it big, like Christian said to do so. Oh, he always says it to make it big. There you go. There's another clip for you, everybody.
Wow.
All right.
Huh?
Let's start here with Hammond of Texas, who says Tetris. Enough said. And then, of course, a lot of likes on that post. Jamie H. Christmas Eve says Honey Pop, then crosses that out and says Portal 2. So on the basically the same exact thing that happened on our show.
Yeah.
You did the exact same thing.
What we did.
Yeah. Tommy Pencil says Baba Is You helped me learn how to program. Yeah, Baba Is You is really, really, really cool. Hung over on Bopane. Yeah, Bopane. Yeah.
Was this the Peggle too?
Oh yeah, Peggle. Shit.
Peggle's fun.
Can you add Peggle there?
I'll add Peggle.
Not Peggle 2, just Peggle.
Just Peggle. Of course.
Of course.
I'm tasteful. Yeah.
Nick Turbo said Picross 3D. Eden said Baba Is You. Big Tony said Portal 2. Christian, can we ever make these threads pictures only? I like that. That's a good way to.
I can ask people to do that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Saklin said, not sure if it counts as puzzle game, but I'd say Return of the Obra Dinn.
It's borderline.
Yeah, it's borderline, and I think maybe
I call those mystery solving.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
I'd like to keep those in a separate genre personally. I think.
Yeah, we understand that there's gray areas here. It's confusing.
Yes. Alex said Bejeweled. There's bigger and funnier match 3s. Candy Crush, Honey Pop. But this one is the major one that popularized it for my mom and probably a lot of other moms.
Bejeweled, that was like Facebook gaming era, man.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot
That's
about
where
that.
I was playing Bejeweled.
I just associate with Game Gear. Game Gear is was that Columns? Maybe I'm thinking of Columns.
Oh, you've been thinking about Columns this entire time?
No, I'm not.
Is that why
listen,
you're against Bejeweled?
no, well, listen, I don't like Columns. That's for sure.
A lot of people are mean to Columns these days. It's fine.
But no, I was like, I always do conflate them, but I know what Bejeweled is. I know what a match 3 is. Michael Riley says Meteos ruled with honorable mention for Pokemon Puzzle League. I think Meteos
like
is
Meteos.
cool, but
It's very cool. It's a little style over substance to be sure, though.
definitely.
That's fun.
Evo,
It's super fun.
Evo Janice is really getting me with this one. Minesweeper. I love Minesweeper.
For years, I never understood Minesweeper. Now I understand it, but don't get it, if that makes sense.
It's definitely one of those inference games. It's one of those deduction games, and so it's going to be up my alley. There are better deduction games, so it turns out. Slane says Sokoban. Yeah, this is one that people have talked about, but I've never played.
It's like Chip's Challenge.
Yes, it's Chip's Challenge. That's right. That's all this is. Allie Miracle says it's like Bust a Move, but with waifus and money. Also, my go-to Switch nightcap game, Money Puzzle Exchanger. I've heard about this
I might
too.
wanna get this.
I am gonna get this. Because I love all that Neo Geo shit on the Switch.
What do you think about the Bust a Move style puzzle game? Those are fun. I do like those.
I like those. I'm whenever I see one like in a collection, whatever, I always play it. And I'm always like, oh, this is great.
I don't know if it's quite gonna make it on the Mount Rushmore, but I like Bust a Move.
Adam GC says Puyo Puyo. Joy Z says Outer Wilds, especially Echoes of the Eye expansion, gets an honorable mention for me. I would probably put that in that category with those mystery solving games for some reason. I guess I don't know why. It's going to make it challenging. Tunic is maybe the most cleverly designed puzzle game of all time. Kind of an action adventure puzzler, Yeah,
like puzzles would be the subgenre there for me, right?
Right. Yeah, sure. Everything's right there the whole time, and you just don't know what to look for, especially if you're trying to follow the golden path. Yeah, that's definitely, that's by far the coolest thing about that game is like, oh, I could have done this the whole time, and I didn't figure it out until they gave me that little manual piece. I love that. SWSP says Puzzle Bopple and Bust a Move is the game I've gone back to for decades, with Mario's Picross as my recent Analog Pocket Discovery runner-up. Cass Buckaroo is paneled upon.
Yeah.
Input name here says Puzzle Pirates. How about a puzzle MMO? Grinding puzzle games to buy a ship in order to grind more puzzles.
Man, I haven't played this, but that sounds fun, actually.
Yeah, it sounds pretty neat. Teriyaki Blue says maybe it's too recent to debate its legacy, but I still think I still think of Case of the Golden Idol at least once a week. Can't wait for the sequel. Also, shout out to The Looker, a parody of The Witness, which is best described as if you love The Witness, you'll love The Looker, and if you hate The Witness, you'll love The Looker. Yes, that's like kind of makes fun of the pretentiousness of The Witness, which is very...
Have you played The Looker?
I've not. I've seen a little bit about it. Yeah,
I kind of think I want to watch you play this now.
Oh, that's a good idea. I would totally do that. This is one I considered. Pseudo Gerudo says Gorogoa. I kind of fell off of Gorogoa after a little bit. Gorogoa is that one that has like these vignettes, and there's a bunch of different kinds of ways to solve the puzzles within these vignettes. Like you'll get a bookshelf full of books and kind of have to organize them and stuff, or look at their symbols and figure out how they go together. Oh, there's a good one. Hosp says, throwing out a lesser known Switch title. My favorite thing about this warehouse item sorting puzzler, which is Wilmot's Warehouse, is just how people's minds work when grouping items prior to collecting them. A modern classic. Yeah, Wilmot's Warehouse is like you get a bunch of different boxes that have symbols on them, and you can either group them together, group them however you want, but then like the warehouse calls for one of these boxes, and you got to remember where you put it in your warehouse. And so it's a management game in like a different style, and it's a really good time. Although I get overwhelmed pretty quickly by it. Dr. Ryan says Portal 2 is the absolute winner, bar none. But to throw out a suggestion that hasn't been brought up yet, consider Professor Layton and the Mysterious Village. Professor Layton, got any chance of getting on this list, Mike?
Well, that if we consider it this kind of puzzle game, I think it would actually. But that's interesting because there's a lot of elements that are more like adventure game, but you are just solving puzzles and riddles.
It's like it's a series of puzzles with presentation on top. Like way more than any other adventure game.
Yeah, those are visual novels, but
right,
like
they're visual novel-y, but definitely puzzle-y first.
Yes, they have like an overwhelming like amount of puzzles, but yeah, the technical.
And
I would
everybody
call it
would
the
just say the
original.
first one. Like I know there's like a bunch of these.
Yeah,
now.
I would just say the first one.
I think everybody. I think Unwound Future people like also the first one with the girl, but I think Mysterious Village is probably still the go-to. Yeah.
Matt Rare Monkey says, now this is a difficult puzzle game that is fantastically designed. It's a Sokoban style game. Oh, really? Steven's Sausage Roll. I've always heard people talk about this. I've never actually played it, but I always intended to. And now maybe I will, now that I know it would cover Sokoban as well. The Earthbound Wolf 5 says, I have 100 hours on N64 NSO, and 90 of them are on this stupid game, Pokemon Puzzle League. I almost said Pokemon.
I think my ratio is like exactly the same.
Bikes and Bruce says, even though it's smarter than I am, which unfortunately is not difficult, The Witness. Keep at it. You'll get it eventually. Inofe says, Pokemon Puzzle League, Minesweeper, Solitaire, Puyo Puyo Tetris. Bench JC says, does Ghost Trick count as a puzzle game?
It's interesting. It's like I wouldn't consider Phoenix Wright one. And there's
Sure.
a little Phoenix Wright energy, but no, you really are just kind of solving puzzles in this game. It's almost like one long logic puzzle. It's weird because it's like so close to being more like an adventure game, and it's very, 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 very good. It'll be hard anyways to Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Even though it's very, very good.
Anyway, we don't have to do this, but we did just give it its flowers in our Game of the year it came out.
Yeah.
So I feel we
I don't think it's going to quite play on like this list, but it probably does count. It probably does.
Mist from Clink says they never played it, but from a historical perspective, we're saying that's an adventure game, right? Mist?
Yeah, it's more adventure game. It's more in that Monkey Island realm for me. Sorry.
No problem. Lenny Cool Dick Denver says, someone said Panel Dupont, so I'll say it's American name, Tetris Attack. So Mike doesn't say it's some weeb game and pretend Kingdom Hearts 2 has good combat. Hey.
Okay, well, wow. Okay, one, I know about Panel Dupont, so, suck shit. And two, Kingdom Hearts 2 is incredible combat. How dare you?
Sounds like a weeb game. Kingdom Hearts 2's combat is fantastic.
Not like The Witness.
Yeah.
Cool Western games for cool people.
Exactly. That's right. Jesus. Please don't make The Witness represent me in any way. I just like the game. Everybody,
That's your game.
please.
That's what we all
No.
associate you with. Yeah.
No, please don't. DMC Despairing Morose Cheerless says, Baba is you. This game has the most mind-bending puzzles in which you are asked to change the rules of the level in order to reach the goal. I alternated between feeling brilliant and stupid constantly, which is the hallmark of a great puzzle game. Completely agree. Seraphis Kane says Puzzle Quest, challenge of the Warlords. There have been several sequels, imitator since, but none have done the puzzle RPG hype rate as well as the original.
Yeah, Puzzle Quest. The original Puzzle Quest, that was a good time, man. I think I did have that on like PSP, even played a lot of it there. It was always fun. Willow
Davis says everyone with an Xbox has it. Go download it now. Hexic HD. Never cared for Hexic.
Hey, what about Sega Swirl?
Is that the same thing? I've never even heard of that.
But remember there was like a Sega Dreamcast puzzle game you could download. It was like one of the first downloadable games I can remember.
No, the only puzzle game I played on my Dreamcast was Choo Choo Rocket.
I was about to ask about Choo Choo Rocket, actually. I like Choo Choo Rocket. I don't know if I like it that much.
Same, yeah. But it's like, what was the other puzzle one from like slightly before that era? Zoop?
Oh, Zoop, yeah.
Yeah, that was a puzzle game, right? That was. I mostly remember the advertisements for Zoop, but I definitely ended up playing it at some point. Always Be Clothing / Corgi says, it still activated the puzzle parts of my brain and I was happy. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, it's probably number 1 on the list. Bugadillo says, despite the creator, The Witness is still an excellent puzzle game. I agree.
We have a weird thing with that, man, because you like The Witness, I like Braid, and it doesn't cross-pollinate that much.
and I don't think he likes either of us that much. As far as I'm aware, he doesn't. Not a big fan of me.
He probably doesn't know who I am. We'll keep it that way.
Yeah, that sounds good. Fudsex says, Peggle on my phone while pooping in 2008. Hey, yeah, that sounds great. Warden Cliff says, Limelight, the art style and soundtrack are incredibly relaxing, and the puzzles get surprisingly complex for a game that's about moving a line through a maze. Chronobound says, Meteos, one of the most infinitely replayable DS games. J Mania says, any Zachtronics game. I've never played any of these Zachtronics games. Last Call BBS, Opus Magnum, Infinifactory, Space Chem. I guess I should check those out. Adam says, what is a puzzle game? Really? People say Tetris, but I think it's not accurate. Zelda has puzzles. Skyward Sword has the best dungeons. So Skyward Sword, baby.
Oh my God.
Vision
That'd be funny if we said Skyward Sword's the best puzzle
yeah,
game.
the Mount Rushmore of puzzle games, just 4 Zelda games. There you go. Vision 49 says Banjo music intensifies, and then this is a reference to Outer Wilds, not Banjo Kazooie, but everybody. Yeah, God, I mean, obviously it's one big puzzle with a lot of smaller puzzles inside, but I don't know. It's like a mystery solving game at the same time, I think. Shoji Kodo says Lemmings. How do you feel about Lemmings?
Those Lemmings are okay. I prefer Krusty's Funhouse or whatever that was. No, I don't know. Lemmings was always stressful to me back when I played as a kid. Maybe I'd be better at it now.
Christian says the dude is hella weird, but holy shit, makes good games. The Witness. Are you starting like
I'm seeing more Witnesser than I thought. So yeah, I'm like, okay, this isn't just Jeff.
Yeah, it's not like overwhelming, but it's more than you were expecting. Is kind of what I figured. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Screaming Man, it says, F it, it won't make it. But ever since I bought Intelligent Cube on PS5, it's become one of, if not my favorite puzzle game. Super addictive and impeccable soundtrack. I always confuse this with Irritating Stick. I always complained of that.
This is different.
Yeah, I never really played Intelligent Cube.
It's weird. I haven't played forever. I would like to. It's definitely a game. When I look at that, I'm like, that's a PS1-esque game, man, and I respect that. Hell yeah, Intelligent Cube. Where this like Mr. Domino? Where's Mr. Domino at?
RT Bix says, a puzzle game is a classic when it immediately inspires 1,000 clones and clever variations, and that is Wordle. And I think I agree with that sentiment. Freshly Streamed Game says Mike makes claims to be Italian. If that's actually true, he'll put the most famous Italian, Mario's best friend, Captain Toad, on the list. Yes, I know you two haven't played it. Don't care. Do the right thing. Okay.
You call that a puzzle game?
I mean,
I guess.
It's, you know what? It's a puzzle platformer. I know there's no jumping,
platform.
but that's a Donkey Kong 94 like. Yes.
No, there's platforms.
Yeah, there are platforms. Exactly. So it's in the same genre as Donkey Kong 94. Dan Fiasco says, I'd like to give some love to Cocoon. In a less crowded year, feels like it would have been a much bigger deal, and I hope it's one people get to during the slower parts of the year. How do you feel about Cocoon, Mike? I liked
Cocoon a lot.
I liked it a lot too.
My number 10 actually on my top 10 list. It was really good stuff. I don't know if it's quite like, again, there has to be a bit of importance or significance to make it onto the Mount Rushmore. And Cocoon might even just be too new for that, right? It's hard to even get a sense of that.
Pichon says Tetris, Portal 2, Puyo Puyo, and I think The Witness. I haven't played that one because I just don't like Jonathan Blow very much. No problem. Yeah, of course.
Few people do.
And then Super Blastic says Henry Hatsworth, which clearly a puzzle game, also not a puzzle game.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I mean, look, again, I love Henry Hatsworth. It's definitely like, if this was the Mount Rushmore of like genre mashups, I think I would definitely want to put it up there. But yeah,
me too. And the reality is, the puzzle game is like nothing special. It's just that the way it affects the game, that it's part of is really magical. Weed Hater says Mario Super Picross. Is this you, Mike? It's Picross with Mario and Wario.
Well, I would never recommend Picross. You know that.
That's right. Exactly. And then Turbo Shun says iconic, legendary, foundational, Honey Pop.
Shout out to Lola. Looking pretty good there.
I mean, and who knows where the butthole might be on any of these ladies? Could be anywhere, but probably not where you expect it to be or should be. Yep. All right.
Okay.
Let me fix.
I think we did get some suggestions through some super chats too. If you want me to read those, actually.
Yeah, I would love that, please.
Yeah. Let's read some of the ones from before that, just to make it easier for us. But Dominic H said, "Is Dennis Dyack X-Men Audi Destiny of Blight?" Man, even though X-Men Destiny isn't reviewed as poorly as some of the other games we've done, I think it's still probably Blight Club worthy, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
Nick Turbo said, Jeff, do a watch party for Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, sure. I definitely consider, if I was like being able to stream more, I would have done that on New Year's Eve as soon as it became midnight.
Yeah. Matt Rare Monkey says Mike mysteriously learned Fancy Critic in August. Yeah, Matt may have given me some help in August and actually told me how it works, so that was nice. Instead of just yelling at me and calling me an idiot and telling me I was doing it wrong, Matt Rare Monkey just told me in like 2 sentences how it actually worked, and then I suddenly did well. Thank you, Matt.
I had the same conversation with Christian and Sean. I was like, please stop yelling at me. Please stop calling me stupid. Just help me. Just help me. Just help me. And it took a while, but eventually they're like, all right, fine, you old piece of shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Just help me.
Just help now. Okay, I get it.
Thank you.
Connor Wood says, shout out to Blue Scooty. Is that it, Scooty? The kid who beat Tetris.
Yeah.
Adam Wilson says that Luminous should be considered. Jeff, we are famously anti-Luminous on this channel.
Yeah, I'm good. Listen, if I'm going to put one of that dude's games on here, it's going to be Tetris Effect.
Yeah. Luminous just doesn't do that much. Seraphis Kane says Mike played Meteos Disney Magic. Yes, but I actually played way more of the original Meteos, believe it or not. Then Cliff Watkins says, I need to hear you praise Puzzle Fighter. 10 out of 10. Yeah, Puzzle Fighter is okay. It's fine. Sorry. Thank you for that 10th super chat, though. And Adam JC with a 10th super chat here says, oh my God, Chips Challenge BRB installing Jezzball in Ski Free. God, the Chips Challenge was the best. All those games that used to come with your freaking like Windows like
machine, yep.
pre-install. Those were actually
what was a Space Cadet? Is that the name of the pinball machine?
Yeah, the pinball game you had there. Yeah. Then like you had Solitaire, you also had Hearts, and like you had to be a real sicko to play Hearts.
Yeah, Solitaire. I would open up Hearts Solitaire and be like, "Fuck this!" Or Spider. Never could understand Spider.
Like, what the hell is this? This is scary. There's spiders involved. Look out!
All right, Mike. Here's what we have. Tetris kind of already locked up there. Then we have The Witness.
The one lock.
Portal, Picross 3D, Puyo Puyo, Baba Is You, Puzzle Quest, Wordle, Panel de Pon, Professor Layton and the Mysterious Village, and Honey Pop. Sure, why not?
I think Honey Pop's a lock.
Sure, why not?
I don't know.
Okay, listen, Tetris is like up there, and I think it's up there like representing like both of us. If I was like going to have one more game up there, I think I would try to push The Witness up there, Mike.
You can get you can have your Witness.
I think I'm gonna ask for The Witness up there, and I think it's right. After that, I have some ideas, but I think. I don't know. I think we maybe should lean more towards the ones that feel like just obvious at a certain point. Stuff like Puyo Puyo. And maybe Panel de Pon.
So that's my thing. So like Puyo Puyo and Panel de Pon are both like obviously in terms of that kind of puzzle game, it's like, yeah, there's Tetris. Then it's like those two fighting for second place. I mean, which one do you like more?
I really had my love affair with Puyo Puyo, but these days I'd probably go Panel de Pon.
I could go either way. That's it. Maybe this is a fun one. We can leave it up to the live chat. Why not?
All right, sure, yeah. Okay, I'll do that right now.
Puyo, let's see. Do you guys
actually, Christian, you want to run that poll if you can?
And maybe put Pokemon Puzzle League for people who aren't sure what Panel de Pon is.
Yeah, but then should we put Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, or do you think Puyo Puyo is in a place where that's fine?
I think everyone knows Puyo put a Tetris app, but everyone knows what Puyo Puyo is now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't get into the different account to make the poll. Sorry.
No worries. I'll do it right now.
I can if you need me to do it. What are the options?
It is we're gonna do Puyo Puyo versus you want to do Pokemon Puzzle League is the one you want to do?
Everyone's listening. They get it. Just say Panel de Pon. You all understand that Panel de Pon is Tetris Attack / Pokemon Puzzle League, correct? Good.
Yeah, they get it.
You get it.
Yeah,
so
no
Dr. Pokemon Puzzle League. I think that's what people know more.
Sure.
Well, you're listening to me. If you want to say Puzzle League, that's fine.
Puzzle League, that works. Puyo Puyo versus Puzzle League.
Sure. Yeah. It's interesting. No one said Dr. Mario.
No, we like the song from Dr. Mario.
Yeah, of course. Great music, but that game is mid as hell.
You like that or Yoshi more? What about Yoshi's Cookie?
No. I like Wario's Woods more than all those.
Oh wow, that's disgusting. You're a sicko.
Yeah. Don't you know it?
Remember there's that Pac-Man puzzle game? I actually kind of liked that.
I don't remember. What would you remember? What was?
I don't know which one of these I'm going to vote for, Puyo Puyo or Puzzle League.
I've never played Talos Principle, and Talos Principle 2 did really well last year in terms of reviews. I'm like, man, I should probably play that. I bet I would like those games a ton.
Do you think Portal's a lock? Or should we? A lot more people said Portal 2. Should I actually just say Portal 2?
Sure.
I mean, it could be either one.
It could be either one.
Say Portal 2.
Okay.
So,
Portal 2.
Portal 2 is, maybe Portal 2 just belongs on there also. It's kind of another first-person puzzle game. We don't want too many of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 up there, and I think that's right. And, The Witness is like a first-person puzzle game in that you're walking up to a puzzle that's a 2D paper puzzle, basically. A maze.
Looks like Puzzle League's winning this poll pretty handily at 66%. If that changes, we can reconsider, but it would be Puzzle League. So if you've been holding out your votes for Puyo Puyo, now's the time to make your moves, everybody. There's a part of me that thinks Professor Layton deserves a shot.
Well, yeah, okay, but right now on the Mount Rushmore of puzzle games, we have Tetris, The Witness, Portal 2, and Panel Dupont. What are you going to replace? I think it's pretty hard.
The Witness.
Oh, that's not going to happen. I love Professor Layton. I really do. But I honestly, I think The Witness is sort of a better evolution of that. Like the way that the puzzles build on the skills that you did in like the previous set, and then sometimes it's completely different, but it's still like a similar idea. It just feels more cohesive. And then it's like, yeah, it's these puzzles that exist in this world, and you're kind of walking from one to the next. And yeah, I think I like the presentation of Professor Layton a little bit better. But as a puzzle game, I think I prefer The Witness, because at a certain point, like in Professor Layton, you're gonna get so many of these riddles, and you're like, well, it's just the thing. Like if I read this carefully, it's gonna be the most obvious one. It's like, sure. It makes me think I should be doing math, but the answer is actually 0. And so, and that's kind of always happens at a certain point in Professor Layton. So it's like, I like that. I think that's clever still. I just think The Witness is more refined.
I know what you mean. Like the variety almost hurts Professor Layton in a little way. The fact that each one can be a completely different thing. I almost kind of like knowing that I have a few amount of tools that I'm going to use to do a bunch of different puzzles instead of doing an infinite amount of possible puzzles sometimes.
Yeah, I'll let you put on, after I played Professor Layton, I got a matchstick puzzle game for the DS, which was just all the matchstick games.
Yeah, nothing but matchsticks.
Yeah, nothing but matchstick puzzles, and I played a lot of that. I have no idea what that's even called now. It's been years since I even looked at that game.
I'm gonna for when you post this on Twitter, I'm gonna delete the Pokemon Puzzle League. If the people don't know what Panel Dupont is, I'm gonna let them self-report.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, very good point. You're right. Like, yeah, go ahead and get rid of that.
You should just call it Puzzle League, because Puzzle League is the name of the series. Panel Dupont is just the first game.
Yeah, I think you should wait for when I call on you to speak.
Sean, thanks for all your help. This is just good cop, bad cop over here. I'm the good cop, and I love you very much. Mike's very pleased with himself.
Yeah. That's one of my better ones. Did you want to consider Wordle? I mean, Wordle.
Yeah, I consider Wordle. I would probably put it up there instead of.
Is this why your mom dislikes me?
Oh, probably, yeah.
Sean, did you hear about how much Jeff's mom loves you?
Yeah, I told
Sean,
him.
I give you permission to speak. Did you hear that part about how much Jeff's mom loves you? Oh, he's protesting in silence now.
Mike, don't you dare ruin this for me. They do all the work. You have to not mess this up for me, please. I'm begging you. Oh, God.
Well, I guess we got her for the no Wordle, never mind.
Yeah, no Wordle, never mind. Listen, I like Wordle a lot. I would put it up there somewhere, but I kind of don't know what I would even begin to take down.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to replace anything here.
Yeah, and I think it's a pretty good list. So Tetris, The Witness, Portal 2.
Probably a lowercase d, right? Probably like that. Let me look. Panel Dupont. Yep, that's correct. Got it. This is great. I love having this dog. I can actually make the Gribber fixes on it.
Yeah, we'll do that every time. To me, it still says Puzzle League, you dumb sack of shit.
Get out of here.
You never said anything about speaking or about typing.
I said you were allowed to use your words. You can't do that.
There we go. Okay. All right. There it is. Okay, Mike, can you read that while I put it on Twitter?
Yes, the Mount Rushmore puzzle games are Tetris, The Witness, Portal 2, and Panel Dupont. It's fun to say Panel Dupont. They should lean into that.
Yeah, they should lean into
it more. It's good. Right, good stuff. Yeah, I think that's solid.
Fantastic. All right, let's take one more break. And then we'll get back. I think we might have. Do we have any more super chats, or did you read all of those when we caught up there?
We have at least one more that came in. So let's
All right,
talk about.
We'll do that
what
and
we've
talk
been
about what
doing.
we've been
If you guys
playing.
want any more super chats? Now's your time to get them in.
All right, we'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, are we good?
We're on a break. Are we allowed to talk now, Mike?
Yeah, guys, I'm sorry, but it was funny. Sean, I'm sorry. Sean, forgive me.
Don't forgive him ever.
Sean,
Hold on to
come
that
back.
grudge.
Yeah, I
gotta
don't.
take the
I'm like
dog out.
not sure how much of a grudge holder Sean is, so it's like, oh no, I don't know what's gonna happen
It
next.
was funny.
I mean, clearly it was funny. Yes.
That's rough.
You dumb
I'll
sack
start
of
talking
shit.
as soon as I leave.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Okay, he's gonna go take a little breaky break. We'll get us set
I
up
was
with
about
other
to say
cameras.
something, but I forgot, so I'm not gonna say it.
Fair enough. No problem. Yeah, John Gauscher. Yeah, Tetris. Like at a certain point, like I would like just put Portal instead of Portal 2 because part of me is like, Portal 1 and 2, right? I mean, the Portal games
Yeah.
and Tetris. The Tetris games.
Every Tetris game.
Yeah. I mean, so Tetris to me implies Tetris Effect. That's why it's not even on the short list beyond the finals.
No, the final is a shooter.
Oh right, I always mix those up.
Yeah. Thank you.
4 years
I don't.
from now, someone dressed as
That-
Silver is going to surprise Mike in a dark alley. Someone dressed as Silver with a full size body pillow of Crystal from Star Fox Adventures.
I was gonna. Yeah. Exactly.
Mike Minotti found dead today, suffocated to death with a pillow of Crystal from Star Fox Adventures. It's a tragedy. Super
Awful.
Blastic loves Dr. Mario. Well, Blastix, you are pretty good at puzzle games, so maybe we should trust you. Dr. Mario's fine. I
Back on Mario.
think it's fine.
Will you let Dr. Mario treat you if you have some ailment and he was the only doctor around?
Wait, what?
Will you let Dr. Mario treat you?
Oh,
If, like he was the only doctor around and you have like, I don't know. broken
absolutely
toe?
not. Definitely not. No fucking way am I trusting that little weirdo.
Is he a real doctor?
Christian, I told you that my mom likes you, right?
Yeah, you told me. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
okay, I
you.
can't remember.
Shout out to your mom.
Yeah.
That sounds weird, but
Well,
shout out to her.
Yeah. She was like, oh, he seems really sweet. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Thank you. I am not, but thank you.
But you seem that way to my mother, so that's all that matters.
There you go.
Yeah. That was very funny. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Listen, it's okay to have opinions on
Thank
these
you.
guys. I mean, they're different than my opinions, but sure.
That's for sure. Oh man.
Oh
Oh, I'm gonna turn on the AC.
God,
that
that's right.
cavalier.
Man,
I'm
that
like
sucks that it's
crazy.
summer for you.
Okay, I'm back.
No, I love it that it's summer
Yeah,
here.
summer sucks. All right.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of summer, but I'm glad that's different from where you are.
What are you, the snowman from Frozen?
Yeah.
Olaf's.
Thank you. I wasn't gonna be able to think of the name.
I
All right,
did.
let's get back into it. Let's finish up this show so I can go watch the Red Wings.
Let's finish that shit.
All right. And we're back. And Mikey, why don't you hand me that last super chat that we've had so far?
Yeah, absolutely. The last one is from El Grug, who says Mike should pretend to break his finger at the best game of the year so Dan doesn't get out of Blight Club a second time.
No, what would happen is I would just end up having to play it because I would be the only one without a broken finger.
Yeah, you've suffered enough.
Yeah, please, God, no more. All right. Thanks for that super chat. And thank you everybody for the super chats this week. As always, all the support is super duper appreciated. Mike, what have you been playing?
Well, we just did our Game Club episode on the Dead Space remake, which I'm very glad I did play through because that was a ton of fun. We did get to beat it just the day before. Just really, really, really solid stuff. I love the look of that game. I love that spaceship, that kind of industrial design of it, right? Even with the horror aspects of it, I just like walking around such a functional looking ship, right? I mean, that was the strength of the original game. With the kind of modern juice here, that stuff is definitely better than ever. I forget, did you play much of the Dead Space remake?
No, I got it early, and then it was broken. The controls were broken on my PC, so I would try to play with mouse and keyboard, and it just wouldn't work. And then I would try a controller, and that wouldn't work. And I think it was just bugged out. That game was a little bit buggy when it first launched. So
Yeah, it still had some problems. PC with like some hitching and staggering here and there. It controlled well though with the mouse and keyboard, which was nice elites. And that plasma cutter, right? The pistol with like the vertical horizontal line. That's just an all-time great weapon. That thing is fun.
Yep, it's like, oh yeah, of course you build an entire game around this. What a great idea.
Yeah. So it's fun to shoot those limbs off. In fact, like in the original, I remember really disliking all the other weapons. Here, they did some work to make them feel better and more useful. But there's a part of me that's like, if this was just a plasma cutter game, I understand that you would be criticized for that. I get it, but I think I would actually prefer it. And you do get an achievement for playing the game just using it. And I would almost kind of be tempted to try that. I think it'd be a fun way to play it.
I watched you play a little bit of this on your stream, and I was like, God, yeah, the game looks really cool. I should go back and play it.
It's a cool game. It's a fun, pretty breezy. It took me about like 11, 12 hours to beat, which is about the length you want for that kind of game, I think. And even though, like, yeah, it's scary. For some reason, like, sci-fi horror is never quite as scary to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, even back when I was a coward, like, I could play Dead Space 1. I could watch Alien, and I would be better with that stuff.
Anything else, Mike?
No, just pretty close to beating Star Ocean Second Story. That's the other thing I've been really working on, and Valhalla, the God of War stuff, been continuing to plow away at that. But that's really it.
Lucy played through Valhalla in one sitting. She said, "It's like, man, she's on extended vacation, so she had a little bit more time. I'm like, man, that sounds like a good day right there."
It does. I might have been managed that if I didn't if I wasn't an idiot who bumped up the difficulty because I thought it was too easy.
Yeah.
Now it's gotten a lot harder.
I did that on a game recently. We'll be able to talk about here in the next couple of weeks, and I'm like, I might move it back down, but so far I'm like keeping it on hard, and we'll see if I end up doing that.
I got it. Yeah.
I am. Let's see. I didn't have much time for us stuff beyond review games that, like I said, we'll be able to talk about soon. Sorry to tease, but it's just the reality of it. I went back to PGA Tour 2K23, the 2K golf game, and I played that on the Steam Deck. I really like that game. This always had that weird story of being like, it was an indie developed golf game, and then 2K basically just swooped in and like was like, hey, we're going to take this over. And it does feel like a fully featured one of these golf sims. And I think the thing that really locked it in for me is, for a long time they've had the analog stick swing, and when I try to do that with my thumb, it doesn't ever go right. I mean, I still like the way it feels, but it just never feels like I can get an accurate swing. When I started, like, what if I just pretended like it was a trackball, like an arcade golf game, and I put my hand on top of the Steam Deck and sort of pulled it back with my middle finger and then pushed it forward, and that gets me much better results. And now I'm having a much better time with the game, so that's been pretty cool. And now I can focus on like what is still the challenging part of the swing, which is the timing. And as long as I kind of keep it, somewhat close to the center. It could be fast, it could be slow, but as long as it's not very fast or very slow, I'm usually getting my shots where I want it to go. And it's just, there's something pleasant about, the sounds of golf game, the swinging, the whacking, the whacking.
Yeah, how's the whacking feel?
The whacking feels very good, Mike.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great to hear.
But the sound of hitting the ball and then, the ball scooping down in the cup and making that super satisfying sound, all that stuff's really nice. And just like the ambiance of the courses. I don't have
worse than Neo Turf Masters.
Listen, yeah, I'll probably still have more fun with Neo Turf Masters. Neo Turf Masters rules. But part of me is like, yeah, I'm gonna check out this newer golf game, and I've been having fun with it. And then I played a bunch of Against the Storm, which is that other roguelite city building game, and I've been digging that. Mostly what I like about it is just like how satisfying everything is to do in that game. There's a part very early on where you have to begin clearing trees from around the little grove that you're in, and you can see all these other groves, and so it's like, okay, just select this grouping of trees to like begin building a path, And then you see your little workers go and just start taking those trees away. And it's presented so nice. It feels so nice that it, like, when a game gets those details right, and then the meta layer of like what you're doing is really satisfying as well. It's like, oh man, they just really figured this game out. So I'm into that. I can see why so many people put like Against the Storm on their Game of the Year list over on Giant Bomb. But other than that, not much time for games beyond what I'm doing for work. And then I did play some Odama to get ready for our UPF tomorrow. That's a weird game, Mike. Odama's very weird. In fact, we should test out my idea when we're done here today. So if anyone wants to see us play some Odama, tune into Giant Bomb tomorrow. I don't know if you'll be available for UPF tomorrow, but if you're not,
GamesBeat, we're actually going to figure out our game of the year at GamesBeat. I'm probably just going to do that on my Twitch channel. So
okay, well, yeah, we'll definitely do that. That'll be fun. And
3 p.m. Eastern. I forget when you guys UPF.
We UPF earlier, but then we'll be doing a Bombcaster Vengeance. I don't know if you want to step in or stop in because you don't have to worry about it because you'll be able to just yell at my game while I play. So
yeah, we'll see if I can pop in or not. But yeah, 3 p.m. GamesBeat Game of the Year discussions.
But yeah, Odama's just like, you yell at the game and then the soldiers obey your commands. But then it's just like this war pinball game, and the ball sort of rolls over the enemies. I can't tell, like, if the ball goes down the well, at least on the first level, you get a game over right away. I'm like, what? Okay, so I got to be managing this and also like yelling at these guys at the same time. So it might be a kind of lot. Yeah, it seems like it might be a fun game to sort of do the division of labor and have someone else do the yelling for me. So we'll see how that goes. All right, that's what I've played. Mikey, anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, I think we're good and we're caught up on super chats. Let's get out of here.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to hit the button over here. Mikey, why don't you tell people where they can find you and what you have going on?
Yeah, Tokoto, at the places, Twitch and stuff. We had a lot of fun on the voicemail dump truck today, so check that out over at Giant Bomb. The voicemail dump truck this week was very eye-opening for a lot of us. We learned a lot about people's heritages. Heritage.
And the Blight Club episode, an all-time classic. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, a lot happened. A lot of progress was made.
A lot happened, and a lot didn't happen. So definitely witnessed that. I'm Jeff Grubb everywhere. You guys get it. Come join the Discord. It's been nice hanging out there.
I think I did notice the Patreon's getting close to 500 people.
So no, that's for you. They changed it so people can follow without actually paying. So we're at like 380 paying members, which is
freeloaders. No, I mean that's fine.
That's actually still really awesome that we're that high.
You.
It's bigger than it's ever been, and we gotta appreciate it. It's so nice just to see that support, and it makes it possible for us to keep justifying this time in our lives that we take to do this. So, occasionally we're able to use that money to do some fun stuff, like when we go to these conventions that pays for our tickets and stuff like that. If you want to join the Patreon, patreon.com/GameMess, and we're going to try and make it even better, bigger and better in 2024. We'll probably do some fun stuff. Maybe we'll put some of our coverage of AGDQ up on the channel or whatever. That'll be fun. And I'll pay for the gas with the Patreon funds. Mike, any plans for this weekend?
Beg Sean for forgiveness.
Hey, good luck, man. You're going to need it.
Forgive me. Say something, Sean.
Don't say anything. Hold
Sean, admit yourself.
Never forget, never surrender, Sean. I'm gonna go to that football game.
Christian, shut up! You're talking over me. Get back into your hole.
Till next time, everybody. Thanks for listening. Catch you then. Goodbye.
Oh, Christian muted himself. Dang it. I'll have to play the soundboards. Where are these? Here we go. What's this one about Donald Duck?
It's Donald Duck for real.
That's funny. This is easy.
They are going to come for Zelda. I have to poop. Super Bowl, let's go.
That's fucked up that he ate so many sunflower seeds that his butthole stopped working.
Bye, everyone. Forgot to nominate Cut the Rope today, said Zoob Mir. Sorry, Zoob.
I love Cut the Rope. I love love to whack off to Crystal.
We'll see each
I
other
love to
here.
whack off to
Okay.
Crystal.
What?
I love to
Never
whack
said
off to
that.
Crystal. No way I ever said that. No way. I love to whack off to Crystal. Fuck. I love to
Yeah, you
whack
got
off
him.
to Crystal.